Hello, this is Michaela Carrier from Delta Beadworks. I wanted to make a short video showing how I transfer my designs onto black leather. So there's actually a bit of a process. First, I have to draw my design and kind of pick out the beads and the flowers and just make a sketch of it. And once I've gone through that process of picking the colors and the final design, I actually draw it in exactly how I want to do it with all the colors and like flower placements. And then out of that design, I make a design that's to scale that will fit on the piece of fabric, the exact size that I want it, and just more detail of exactly how I'm going to bead it. And this, I just take a fairly big piece of paper that is going to cover the design area. And then I take an X-Acto knife and I actually cut little holes along the design. So it's rigid, but there's holes. And then I'm able to kind of place it down on my area. And then I can kind of follow along maybe the main kind of area. And I flip it over. I can do it here, follow along those holes. So for the first draft, I'm going to use this kind of pen. I got it from a quilting store. It's Disappearing Ink. And I'm just going to make a rough draft that way. And I also like to poke holes where I want this to go. So once it's all lined up, usually I'll tape it down so it doesn't really move. And then I can poke through to make the markers of where the flowers are going to go. Like this. I like to mark as well where the leaves are going to be, the very tips of the leaves. And then I'm going to go to the next step, which is I actually cut out more detailistic versions of the flowers, and I'm going to go exactly where that dot is and line it up. And then I'm going to trace around the edges. And because these flowers, I do them all the time, I'm going to use this white gel pen. And that will make it so that the design really shows up. So we're going to do an outline of this leaf for an example. So the downside of this Disappearing Ink pen is that it's very hard to see. So I like to use a headlamp, and not just an ordinary headlamp, but one that is like super bright, so you cannot miss those marks. I'm going to take my stencil and put it where I need it to be, and then I'm just going to trace around the edge. So now I can really look at where this mark is and kind of line it up with the other spot to see, like, am I happy with that placement? And I think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to take my gel pen and kind of make an even better mark kind of on the inside of where I'm going. I can change the placement of how I want, but once I put the gel pen down, that's it. That's where I have to bead, because the gel pen doesn't come off. But this is only if I'm really sure that I want something. And then that's how I transfer a mark. And then I don't need my headlamp as much. It stands out. That's how I transfer design.